All right, guys, we are back at it. We have a 2005 Sportsman 500. She is the high output edition. It's a selectable two-wheel drive, all-wheel drive model. If it's selectable, why is it all-wheel drive? Shouldn't it just be four-wheel drive? But whatever. Technicalities. This is a customer's machine, not mine. As they tell me, a 12-year-old was riding it, the 12-year-old granddaughter, and something broke and put her into a fence, caused all this damage. They brought it to me to get it fixed up. I'm gonna try to weasel what's in the garage out and get this in and take a closer dive into it. Well, weight capacity wise, she is all there. I've lifted a few 4x4s on my lift here. This is probably the heaviest. I had an Articat 400 4x4, and she was a little bit heavy, but I don't think it nearly compared to this thing. That's technically why I have my scissor lift. That's underneath my Jeep there, but it's underneath the Jeep there. So whatever, make do with what we got. So damage wise here, this is the A-arm bolt. It's supposed to go this way. This back tab where it's marked by the leaf here is bent. It looks up and back. So we're gonna have to see about that. Hopefully it didn't break any of the welds. If not, no big deal. This is the first time I've really had to inspect this thing. It obviously broke the strut, bent the tie rod, popped the CV axle, and I was looking for any more frame damage. You can tell frame damage because all the paint, sorry, you guys are just looking at the strut, all the paint would be gone and it would be bare metal. This is bent, but that's just cosmetic. That's just cosmetic because that's straight, so that's good. I don't see anything up there. This crossbar, I don't see anything here. Don't see anything there. That really doesn't matter. Really, that there, this tab looks fine. Good deal. So I don't have all the parts in right now, so I am still waiting on a few things, but I do have a new control arm and a new rod and bushing kit for it. I'm waiting on the struts. I have the tie rods, or no, the tie rods are not here yet, but they will be. But I really need the strut to make this thing roll. So I'm gonna get everything disconnected here. That brake line still feels good. Hopefully it didn't stretch it. Oily engine there. I'm just using you guys as a flashlight, so you know, just keep your peepers out for me and let me know if you see anything that I'm not seeing. Radiator still looks fine. Nothing cracked there, no spillage. They said this happened in like October or November. As for this big thing, I wonder if it can't just be heated up and maybe pulled back out. The little foot thing here is bent, but that's all plastic. Maybe just if I pop it all off, try to get everything sat back down. If it can bolt it down. Here's the old one. They thought the A-arm broke, but I'm fairly certain it was the ball joint that popped out and then did the catastrophic failure for everything else. There's a spring for the strut. Strut could technically be rebuilt maybe, or maybe I just needed to. Anyways, we got some aftermarket ones. That's what he wanted, the owner that is. Shoot, I don't even have a key for this thing. He says it's supposed to run. He wanted me to inspect everything else, so let's do that real quick. Well, his other main area of concern was this left side, because he didn't want to fix the right, then turn around and have the same thing happen to the left. Put some air in this tire so we don't mistake any of the play of the tire itself for play of the suspension parts. And it's probably a good thing we checked on it. She's wobbly. Whew. Let me get you in here. This control arm bushing is shot. All right. So that's supposed to have a plastic bushing, and she is gone. Yeah. Need to get you guys in there, focus. Nope, focus down there. So yeah, I did order both sides, a bushing kit for both sides, because I just assumed that it'd be bad. It's getting a strut as well, but dear God, look at that. Check for up and down plate. Hard to tell ball joint wise because that whole A-arm's moving. However, got ball joints for both sides because that'd be slightly irresponsible to just place one side and not the other, especially when it's cheaper to buy two than it is buy one. Sorry about the sweat, guys. It is not even May yet, but it's been thunderstormy as hell here, and so it is very humid today. It's supposed to be like 81, but like 90% humidity, thunderstorms later this afternoon, all that good stuff. So gonna have to look at my sweaty mug. Sorry about it. But that's probably how the other side was as well. I still think the ball joint popped, and then with having no bushings, it pulled it and popped it and broke it. And we'll fix this side up. It's getting a new strut as well. I priced out brand new ones or a used one just for that right side, and he wanted both new. So that's what it is. That's all on the customer. That's what they want. That's what they get. So other than that, tie rods, I got both again. I don't feel much play in that wheel bearing. I'm gonna probably have to tighten everything up before I can really tell. All right, so moving on to the back left here, it uses a control arm as well. I got play somewhere. Let's take a closer look. I don't think it's the bushings, I think it's the wheel bearing. Yeah. Got no play at the knuckle. Got no play back here. The A-arms aren't moving, upper or lower. I think it's all in that one there. So wheel bearings. Let me check this other side. Yep, same thing over here. So both rear wheel bearings have a little play. Not discussed that with him, but I mean, he said, you know, look at it, figure out what it needs, let me know, order the obvious stuff that it needed right away. But so I'll get with him, price those out, see what it takes, so on and so forth. Maybe the CV axle nut is just loose. Who knows? I've seen crazier things. Let's get working on this broken side though. That mount obviously needs to be straightened out right back here. Everything needs to come off, and this mount needs to get straightened before we do anything. And luckily enough, we got a new bar, so I can tell if it's straight or not before like we get too crazy in here. So let me disassemble all this. All right, well, I'm gonna get this tire out of my way. Let's get this tie rod off of here. Maybe I should get the brake caliper off first. Get the weight off of that hose. Probably a good idea. Thought a 14 would grab it, but apparently it is a 13. Oh, I think that's for the speedometer, that wire there. Because utility things, gotta be able to tell how fast you're going, I guess. Let me guess. That's a different size. Oh, maybe not. You know these knuckles are only like $13 used? The entire knuckle. You can get them from Power Sports Nation. They're out of Nebraska, but are like the world's largest ATV salvage yard. Got there. And they got a lot of stuff. That's where I got the control on for this thing. Because pretty much your only option is a cheapo aftermarket, and I trust the welds of Polaris, you know, cheapo manufacturer, well before that. So I figured, are you kidding me? That's a different size for down there. So I figured get a OE used control arm, but a good bushing kit. Like that. They do use an interesting style of tie rod there. It just kind of bolts through. Pretty interesting. And apparently with this being the high output, it's different than just a regular 500. I had to go look up the part number. Amazon told me that the one I ordered does not fit this machine, but Partzilla says otherwise. So I went with that. Go ahead and take that off. This thing is wobbling on the old lift. Tell you what. When Polaris designed this, they must have just said, you know, it doesn't matter what parts we use or what sizes of nuts, just throw it all on there, whatever we got left over. I don't know why I'm fighting that. Turn the handle a little bit, and I bet she slides out right there. Like that. She's got a little bend to her right there. Button up against that air box. A little corroded. Boop. Brake pad check. They're okay. They got some meat left on them. I wouldn't replace them. Not yet, at least. Okay. Now, let's focus our attention here. So, I didn't take this off because I was just going to use it as leverage. Push her back straight. Okay. Now go in, right? You guys see what I'm doing here? See what I was talking about by the paint chipping off? Okay. See if my mitt's got enough strength in them. I am a frame machine. Okay. Now I gotta bend her up. Get some things out of the way here. Get some things out of the way. I am mentally prepared to cut that thing off. And make a new one. But if I don't have to, I don't want to, because then I gotta charge them even more labor. Get that completely out of the way there. Okay, so see how she's got to tilt up now? Then back in. Keep going in. Running out of leverage. It's fine. She won't fall over. Hopefully. I am pretty darn close over here. A little bit forward. It's got to go back. Pretty darn close. But now this is bent. Let's see if I can't squeeze her back here a little bit. Okay. Well, my frame machine computers tell me that is pretty darn close. Especially for the girls we go with. That doesn't fit. Okay. Wrench it is. I think that's 13. Okay. Oh, that was easy. Thought I was really going to have to fight her. Can't find my ratchet wrench. That'd be nice right about now. Man, does it use... I swear, even when I took the tire off, I used a 14mm. But it's sticking like it's a 9/16. It is a Canadian machine, but... they shouldn't be using standards. This is ridiculous. Speaking of Canada, if you guys like this type of contact but want a little bit more fabrication involved, go over to Over-Engineered Nonsense's channel. It's dang it, I'm gonna have to look at it. But here's his channel. He's up there in Canada, but he's a pretty cool guy. Does more of the fabrication stuff. Hell of a welder. Go check his stuff, especially if you like side-by-side or sixes. He's building some pretty cool stuff over there with amphibious machines. Not Not my cup of tea, but it's definitely cool to watch. He made one bulletproof. That wasn't his intent, but I swear to God it is. Let's give her a few taps here. Almost need. It's kind of dipped in. Maybe. I almost need to like put a dolly here. Try to flatten her out. See if I got something. I don't know if wood is going to be enough. Don't think so. If I could get straight on with it. Maybe once I put the new one in there and run that nut down, it'll kind of suck it in a bit. But really, I don't think it broke the welds at all. Not bad at all. Just bent the frame just right here, just a little bit. I don't think it's going to have much effect on it. It just kind of crinkled it right here. I don't think it's enough to actually like matter. A car, yeah, it would. A four-wheeler, nah. Sender. So I'm not seeing nothing. Of course my light died here. Yep, I'm not seeing nothing. No cracks in the welds or nothing. So no cracks in that weld or the one back here. Shoot, the paint's even still on it. But on the back side here, you can see that it just got a little divot here, kind of pops out here, and then paint's still there, so that means it didn't bend there. So again, shouldn't throw anything off, not on this machine. So good deal otherwise. I'm gonna grab that new bar, stick her in there, see if I can't just suck that in just a little bit. If this was straight, if the frame didn't kick out right here into kind of an A bend, I'd just kind of grab a nice piece of wood there. Is that from the fence maybe? I would just grab a press and just squeeze it, but I don't believe my press would fit in there. I think the head's too big, so okay, that's a plan. I did that without recording. Why? I don't know. But the new one here came with these grade 8 very coarse bolts, so I felt comfortable doing that, and it worked quite well. The bottom here is still just a little bit divot out, but I think once I go to actually tighten her all down, it'll straighten up somewhat. If not, it doesn't really matter because the bar is only going to sit so far. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Still no broken welds or anything like that. That side's straight, and the bar fits in there like so. And it's obviously a tight fit, but all lines up. So I think I can get that bottom A-arm on. Here's the new used A-arm, but you can see there, its bushings were also wearing out and needed to be replaced. So that's that bar, and so I will have to drive it out and then figure out how to get the rest of those bushings out, which is good because I mean I'm gonna have to figure it out on the other side as well. But the ball joint goes inside that knuckle there, and then it just bolts through. Kind of interesting design. But like I said, this is from Power Sports Nation. It's free shipping even from their website. They're on eBay. I'll clean it up, give her a fresh coat. Nice greaser too. I don't think the Chinese one for 80 bucks had that, and this was 30. So I was pretty happy with that. Like I said, I spent the extra money on a good set of Quad Logic bushing kit. I wanted both sides because I figured it was going to need it, so I didn't want to cheap out and only get one, then spend double buying and kind of have a leftover bushing. So let me get that out. This turned out to be a lot easier than I thought it was going to. They stick out a little bit on each side already, so all I did was take my hammer, give her a tap, and she ended up coming out. And so then what I'm going to do, because I'm not reusing this, so I don't care. I did lubricate the end of that one. And I was going to drive it back out the other way, but got me a bolt here. And I'm hoping that it's going to be long enough to get me where I need to be. I think I'm bouncing. Flip her over. Put the foot in there. She's coming. Get it up higher a little bit. I'm sure if you had a clamp or a press would be good. But she is rotating, so she's free spinning. Say that. Thought I gave her a pull and a twist. Come on. Fighting this other bushing. Told you. If it works, is it stupid? I don't think so. Okay. Where'd that bolt go? It was working great. Alright, well that side's almost cleaned out. Grab a pry bar maybe. Knock that other side out. Or shoot, maybe a bent one. Is this bent one going to be my Polaris bushing remover? Oh, watch, it just got stuck in there. Well, shoot, at least screwdriver here. That's how I do Yamahas. Yeah, I got the poo on me. Woohoo! Wrong way. Haha! Good enough. All right, and the new one just slid right in. Had to give the center just a little tap because it's got that seal around it, but really was not. I got to bend her out a little bit. I did too good of a job. That there. And I did not buy a CV axle yet. I wasn't sure if it needed one or both. And it's one of those things that it's cheaper to buy two at the same time. And I bet you once those seals wear out, this sucks to get in and out, because I bet that bar just spins. Come on now. So the story with this one, as they tell me, their granddaughter was riding it, something brought, put her into a fence, so on and so forth. But how oh, I see. The other side stops the other side from spinning. I get it. But how they got a hold of me, they actually bought that Lakota that's on the channel. Actually, should be the video right before this one. And they offered me this one as trade, and well, it was not worth the value to trade, in my opinion, without them spending a bunch of money. So then they asked if I could fix it, and I kind of gave them just a quick guesstimate. You know, just you know, control arm, ball joints, strut, CV axle, you know, so on and so forth. And they're like, you know what, you seem fair. You know, if we buy the Lakota, will you work on this one? And so they brought this over. I looked at it, kind of saw everything, and we talked about money for a minute. And then they really liked this thing. They only had it for a year. And I think they said they paid like $2,500 for it, which is probably fair market value. Right now I'm fighting the bend to this control arm, or to that mount, that is. Hoping by tightening it up it's going to straighten up. But either way, so paid real money for this thing. So they were wanting to get it fixed up, and so they're putting money into it and doing it right, but they're worried about, you know, if the grandkids are riding it, are they going to get hurt on it? So that's why they want to be extra cautious and have me go through all the suspension and steering on it to assure that it is good to go. Which I don't mind at all, because they're paying money. Very good. And we'll grease that up too. But I don't want to take that out, the CV axle butt there, up until I'm ready. Alright, well, there's step one. Got that on there. That looks fine to me. Lines up, moves. Might have to play with the alignment just a tickle, but you know, that could just be the setting the tie rods to where it drives straight. It's cool, very cool. Let's see about disassembling that knuckle there. Well, definitely should have had them take it to the car wash. But I took the whole wire wheel to her, knocked her down a bit. I don't think she's been off in a while. That doesn't look too bad. Look at that there. Oh, yeah. Right out of there. Okay, now my next trick here, my magic trick, is going to be getting this ball joint out. Polaris uses kind of a special tool. It just goes over the ball joint, has a cup, you wind it down, then you put the nut on, then you use an impact and thread out the inner cup, and it pulls it out after you take off this plate here. I don't have that option. We're going to see how fun that is to get out. Okay, definitely you want to use an impact driver for this. Make sure that's seated in there good. Not there. Got a little lip. I don't know if that's going to be able to have a good enough grip to her. Well, let me fight this, see what I come up with. I'd say if your ball joint broke and you're doing this yourself, you don't have an air hammer and a chisel and everything else, buy your $15 knuckle and get some ball joint, or get some wheel bearings, or hell, use your wheel bearings. That was stupid. I definitely spent more than $15 in labor trying to get that out, but yeah, it is what it is. So let's get that new one in there. All those superficial marks won't matter. For one, that's what holds it in. So, and then the tension. Okay, I should have put this in the freezer. The other side is to shrink it up a little bit. I'm hoping with just a little bit of heat that it'll slide in. Kind of cedar. And again, advice. Hey, an advice would be get a vise. It's hurting my gut. Okay, backtracking. So this is the tool. You go fast, you make mistakes. Okay. Like that. So I'm going to throw this in the freezer. Come back and clean that up too. Well, blew apart the other side here, and I got the ball joint remover on here. Let's see if I separate the ball joint and end up in the same predicament, or if it comes out like it should. Hell yeah. I really thought I was gonna pop it loose with how much play was in there. Come on for there. I had to use the new one. I couldn't find the old one, the castle nut that is. Boom. Well, that was easy. So it has a grease cert, and I was looking at it. So it looks like you just keep filling it with grease, and it just builds pressure like you're packing a bearing, and it packs in there. Interesting. Cool. Well, I've had the others in the freezer. This is not a installer as well, because all it would do was lift up. Okay, I was like, man, would it be? But nah, it would just lift up instead of press in. So let me go get those, see if we can't knock those in there. Okay, got her heated up again. This one's been in the freezer. Probably shouldn't be hitting on that, but it was working. Okay, did not put my disc boot on, but got that on there. As long as that sits flush, you know you got them all the way down. Like that there. Then it looks like I was supposed to remove the dust boot anyways, because then I think she just gets wedged like that there. Sweet. Still waiting on my struts. Tie rods came in though. Don't have to do that much work to the other control arm here. Sweet. And that's where I stopped it for the day. I just met or spoke with them. They couldn't find the key, so I got one coming, got the old one out. I undid this bolt here and opened up this latch. Now I figured it was just easier to show you. So I helped them out with some zip ties here. I was just able to kind of knock it down, and it fell back into place pretty good. Hold together with these three. This fender was able to just kind of yank it forward. And now the latch, the top latches, or, well, it did. It latches. Is she watertight? No, but at the same time, there's a big hole in the bottom, so I don't think it matters. I did go ahead and bend the push bar back out. It is Monday. I got the shocks in and I am back on this thing. So these are Cayman, and that's spelled C-A-I-M-A-N shocks. That's how they'll come. And it took me a minute because of, well, the shape of mine to figure out how exactly this all assembles into here. Really took me a minute, but what I got here. So I've already slid this shock in. I had to pry this apart pretty good. I don't know if these shocks are just a tad bit bigger or not. So I slid it in there. And then I was looking at it. And what I figured out was, so this plate here, while it looks like it would go on top as a washer, it goes on the bottom. That nut collapses the spring. And that little guy is the bushing that goes up in that hole there. I tried putting like this on the bottom, but then this and then this and this on top, and obviously that was not working. So yeah, I just kind of ran this one down by hand. I don't have the collapse bolts in it, so I don't want to overpower it and shoot my strut out of there. But these don't come with the new nut. So like me, how mine, or this one was broken, I'm gonna have to find one. I just don't understand why a company can't put one more nut in a product, and it would just alleviate so much headache. So either way, let me get this up here and installed real quick. So yeah, run this nut all the way down tight. You'll probably have to end up holding the top of the actual shock. Get that nut tight just by hand. And then you're going to have a seat, a little like soft washer, hard washer, and then a nut to hold it all together. And I have not tightened it up yet, but there it is. However, I didn't look at an exploded diagram. I just assumed when you order new shocks, you get everything that you need to replace the shocks. So because this one was broken off, I don't have any of this. This is actually to the other side. Oh, good stuff. I was just trying to make this thing roll tonight. I still might. It'll at least be down on its own tires. I got the black 450 is mine, and it came inside during the storms, but that one did not. However, the disassembled one is actually more assembled than this one. The side cases are apart on it because I'm getting them powder coated. So, geez, good stuff. Well, this side, the wreck side, is temporarily put back together. I'm still waiting on CV axles, but that's what kind of bolts the hub on. So I threw the broken one in there. I'm gonna have to drop the brake lines behind the tie rod and put that back on, but I'm probably gonna have to take that off and drop the strut out to do the CV axles or pull that lower ball joint, one of the two. But that looks pretty good. I'm gonna quickly put together the other side. Like I said, I want to get this out of the shop. We're expecting more rain, and I want to get those guys in. So, gonna keep working here. Look at that, guys. It down on its wheels. Ignore that CV axle that's hanging there and that, you know, brake caliper, because I got the hose shoved in between the A-arm, but it drove out on its own power. It's got its wheel back on, so it's making progress. Can't believe it actually just fire dried up. But we're not done. CV axles, I gotta actually do those top mounts. I just kind of have rigged up right now, and just a little bit more on this video, guys. Bear with me. Holy cow, I am blown apart again. What in the world happened? Well, I got the top bushing mounts for the struts here. Again, no nuts. I don't understand it. You can't buy a shock with a new nut, and you can't buy the top mounts with a new nut. You better hope your nut is still good. But either way, I had to pop out the old CV axle here. That guy. If it's not coming out pretty easy, do yourself a favor, get you some rust penetrant, spray those threads working back and forth, and just keep prying at her till she pops. But you got to drop that to get the CV axle in the way, so it's kind of a twofer. I had to take her back apart anyways, but get this put in here. Come on. The C-clips on those can be a little bit of a booger, but you can literally use it kind of like in a plunger motion and use the CV axle to be its own hammer to get those to go in. I got fed up last night. I had to fight these dang CV axles. They were super rusty, stuck in there, and those C-clips would not pop out, but I finally got it. My only advice, if you're working on this particular Sportsman, if you lift up the front hatch, and then if you have that, open it up, and then you can get straight down to the differential and on both sides, and you're able to kind of force, use a pry bar and a hammer to kind of knock the CV axles out. I wish I would have learned that. It took me about 2 hours last night to get it all done, which really cuts into it, but it's all back together. New CV shafts, A-arm bushing, struts, ball joints, tie rod, all of that. Again, that's that wrecked side. It looks straight enough to me. Let's take it on a test ride, and if there's no weird bumps, clunks, chunks, whatever, call the customer and get it back to them. It's been charging all night, and my charger was even green. These are kind of interesting because it's a twist. Kind of strange. Well, handlebar's bent, but reverse there. I guess we should do a brake check. Yep, feels like they work. Then it said to use foot brake to shift into high. There we go. Well, it turns. Rear brakes kind of suck, and front brakes are super touchy. Pedometer does not work. I don't know if that's a new thing or an old thing. Got some get up and go to her. Okay, let's put it in all-wheel drive. Did it go? Okay, well, the light came on. Yeah, I can definitely tell that the all-wheel drive's on. Turning's kind of a bitch. Shut that back off. Did it actually charge? Yep. Cool. I don't know what that does. I certainly didn't hear anything weird. It turned pretty good. It drove fairly straight. Good enough for me. I think it'll be good enough for the customer. I think I got that alignment pretty good. Hard to tell really, but all back together. I'll kind of go through all the nuts and bolts and just make sure everything's tight, and get a hold of the customer and have them come pick it up. But that'll do it for this video. I appreciate everybody watching until the very end. Please like, share, subscribe. It really helps me out, lets me know that people are watching it and actually like this type of content, and you never know what I'm going to have in the shop. So catch you on the next one. Keep between the ditches, unless that's where you intend to go.